I'll walk through the process of setting up Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, and Python installation on your computer. If you just go to download Anaconda with a Google search, it'll bring up this individual edition. And this is, go to the download button. And then you'll want to get the graphical installer, which is the easiest one. It will download it. And then once it's done downloading, we can begin installing. So this is on Apple Silicon M1 processor. So we'll also see if it's able to run natively. Later editions are going to be able to run natively, or you might have to use the Rosetta application to run it. All right, so let's go ahead and just download this and install it. It says we'll allow this to determine it. Okay, and it says introduction. We'll just go ahead and continue through doing most of the defaults here, and we'll agree, and then install. Okay, you got to put in your password. There it is, and then it will start writing the files and some of the scripts. It'll have PyCharm IDE as well, which will be one of the options here for the integrated development environment. So this is installation, again, on the newest MacBook Pro. And, Python, I've seen some of the benchmark problems that have come in. It shows that Python runs a little bit faster, natively on Apple Silicon versus the Rosetta application. So, when the newer ones come out that are compatible with, the Apple Silicon instead of running on Rosetta, which is compatible with the Intel processors, I think we're going to see some performance improvements, which will be nice for some of the data science and machine learning applications. So this will take just a little bit of time. It's installing Anaconda 3, and we'll see some of the options here for, coming up for ways that we can run Python. All right, so I'll just leave it running. I've also had a tutorial video where I showed it from Python.org. Okay, we're going to go click OK here. I showed another video where you installed it from Python.org. One of the things with the latest version is that it doesn't necessarily have all the packages that are compatible. Anaconda does a nice job of bundling everything together, so you don't have to worry about the compatibility of most of them. Okay, so this gives you the PyCharm options. Okay, and we'll just go with the individual edition, and we'll move the installer to trash. Okay, and now when we go to Launchpad, we'll have the Anaconda Navigator, and if we select that, then it'll come up with some of the options we can use with Anaconda. So you don't necessarily need to use Anaconda. You can always, download Python.org and install, like a Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook yourself. But this is just a nice way to do it. A notebook right here. I'm going to click, launch, and okay, and then I'll just go to desktop, and we'll click OK. And then we'll create a new Python 3 notebook. And we'll just do hello world. Okay. And Command Enter runs that. All right, so this saved it. I'll go ahead and just do Command S to save it. And then if you close this out, it'll stop your kernel from running, and you can relaunch it like a Jupyter Lab as well, and there's Spider and other options as well. Okay, so again, the same thing, and come into desktop, and here's my Untitled notebook that I had, and I'll go ahead and just run it again, and you can see that it runs okay in Jupyter Lab as well. All right, and let me try this as well in Spider. Go ahead and launch that one. You can see it's nice. The startup time is fairly good. The first time you start Spider, I think there's some things that it needs to configure. Now, Spider is a nice integrated development environment, kind of like PyCharm. It's similar to PyCharm. Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook are also very similar. It's more of the notebook style. And let me see if I can launch that. Okay, so it looked like I needed to install it, and then it launched it. Okay, so here's Spider 4. All right, we'll click OK and OK, and it says newer version is available. All right. Okay, and then I can put my code over here. And you can see some of the tips that pop up. Hello world. Oh, I put an extra W there. Okay, and then if I click run, then I can execute in the current console, and you can see hello world here. All right, so that's the final one that I wanted to show. Again, fairly easy to install Anaconda. This is Apple Silicon, the M1 processor, and you can see the installation from start to finish. It's about 5 minutes or so, and you have a version up and running. It looks like everything's compatible. I didn't see any Rosetta notifications here, so things might be running natively on the Apple Silicon, and certainly even if it doesn't now, within a couple months it will be. Let's just see what if this thing is Apple Silicon, running natively or running as an Intel. All right, so I'm going to just change to where Anaconda was installed. It's in the OPT folder, and we're going to go to Anaconda 3. All right, and then we'll be able to see it in bin. Okay, so there's some of the, all right, we have pip3 there as well. All right, so what we can do is file Python, and it looks like it is not compiled natively right now. It's an x86_64, so it's going to run it through this compatibility mode that allows you to run it as if it were running on an Intel processor. All right, so that answers that question. If you do need to install something new, you can just do pip3 install, for example, Gecko, and it's going to go out and get the dependencies and install that for you. You can also do that from a Jupyter notebook. You can just use pip install and then the package name, and that will also do it for you as well. But this is the preferred method. Do it from the command line. Just navigate here. You might see some things like this, that it's going to fail because of incompatible versions. Okay, so just with the Apple Silicon, you're going to see some more of those things. Those will get sorted out in the near future. All right, so that's it for this. Let's go and see if we can install PyCharm now. All right, PyCharm. Okay, and then we're just going to do download. Okay, this is a free trial. You have professional for free trial, and then free and open source. This allows you to be able to download it and be able to use it. You have to meet certain qualifications to allow you to run PyCharm. Okay, so IDE options are available. You have many. You have Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, and then this is another one that many like, which is PyCharm. And you can also run it from a text file as well. You can create a .py text file and run it from the command line as well. All right, let's go ahead and just install this one too. All right, we're going to drag PyCharm into applications. Okay, we'll drag that in. All right, so there it is. And let's see what's going on here. Okay, and let's do Launchpad, and we have PyCharm now. Go ahead and open this. Okay, and send anonymous statistics, so you can choose not to send those as well. All right, we're going to create a new project. I'll just use the default paths, but you might want to update these. You can create a new environment using pip environment, the virtual environment, or Conda. Okay, and this allows you to manage some of the dependencies that might be there. Maybe you want this as a Python 3, for example. All right, and let's go ahead and create. Okay, creating the virtual environments is nice because then you can manage dependencies, between projects. Okay, I'll close the tips, and let's just go ahead and do something simple here. Okay, so there we have it. We can run it right up here, or we can go into debug mode. All right, running it the first time, you can see the output down here. All right, so that's PyCharm. So many options for Python. You have the Anaconda, you have PyCharm. There are others as well. So just be on the lookout for different integrated development environments that are best for you, that are going to help you, with your projects and what you want to do.